Could being stuck actually be the sign your potential's been waiting for? Hey, this is Steve, and this is the Career Competitor Coach's Corner. Long before he directed such box office hits like The Terminator and Titanic, there was once a time where the renowned film director James Cameron drove highways night and day for a living as a truck driver. He was not dedicating his time to attending film school, but simply making sure he could pay bills and live a somewhat predictable and safe life. What his fellow truck drivers did not know, however, is he would stop to rest a little longer than his colleagues by hiding behind large billboards and dedicating his downtime to script writing. But nothing in his life was changing. He continued to drive cross-country and make time to stop and write when the mood struck. He was practicing an art form but unable to create the art. He was building out ideas but not creating opportunities to bring them to life. He was doing what he loved, but he was stuck. You might relate to this feeling, one of being stuck at times. It's a place that challenges our mindset and our ability to perceive situations to the absolute limit. How easy is it to just complain when you are stuck? And in contrast, how difficult is it to see there might be elements we can value while being stuck? I have always felt the need to determine whether we are able to identify the literal way we are stuck, or whether being stuck is a sense, simply a feeling we are internalizing. Back in my school days, I would raise my hand whenever I could not figure out a problem and express to the teacher, "Miss, I'm stuck." But in my coaching today, I listen to numerous expressions of feeling stuck. But it doesn't come in the form of a ready-made problem we can rely upon a teacher or answer book to bail us out. It often comes with being at a loss, even a sense of failing, usually some anguish and even resentment. All of these responses are normal human tendency, and society will typically push a sentiment on us along the lines of, just do something about it. But even if we choose to implement such inspiring words, this advice in passing, as I like to call it, typically comes with us eventually ending up right back where we started. Stuck. What could that initial sense of being stuck be telling you about what you truly want? In James Cameron's case, he was stuck doing what he was doing for a living because he did not know how badly he wanted to pursue his ultimate passion in life. While he worked and tweaked his stories and scripts, he went by without a strong enough motive to do something about it. But that inspiration finally came when he sat in a theater and watched the first Star Wars. He now saw what he wanted and what was possible in movies. And he started to get clear on the work required to get there, starting with getting out of the situation he was currently stuck in. The irony of this entire episode is how stuck I was finding a backstory to tie in that would complement the overall message of this episode. But I knew what that would look like when I found it, because I continued to build the substance and impact I planned to deliver within the episode. Not having the story didn't stop me. It drove me to do the work so that when I found it, I would be ready. Feeling stuck is not the time to sit still while you judge and compare your situation to that of others, because that is where the anguish and feeling of failure I referenced earlier starts to creep in. And when these self-critical and harsh emotions overcome us, we may not realize it, but we are disassociating ourselves from the things that matter most. Simply put, we stop doing the work required to succeed. James Cameron was doing the work while he was stuck. I was doing the work while I was stuck with this very episode. To be stuck is not to be failing. To be stuck is to be a competitor that needs help getting clear on what matters most, whether that be in the moment or in the long term. If you feel good about where you are trying to eventually get to but feel stuck, it's time to get clear on what your priorities must be right now and creating the immediate changes to start moving again. If you feel you are not showing up as your best and most capable self, it's time to identify that northern star as a standard for where you are eventually heading, and the light that sparks motivation to shift your intention in a direction you know it needs to go. But just know this: many people don't know they are stuck. They don't know they have a capability that goes far beyond the moment they are in or have been in for some time. That sense of stuck is a wonderful thing because it's a competitive voice internally telling you that you want more and believe you have more to give. So go ahead and stand in the stuck. Recognize that a sense of being stuck is an achievement in itself. But don't stand on that ship for too long until it goes down, much like the Titanic. See those moments, much like my friend, the Terminator, knowing that no matter how stuck you may find yourself, you will eventually establish what is required of you and say confidently, "I'll be back." Thank you so much for giving this Coach's Corner a listen. I hope you appreciated the insight. And if you did, please do the good thing and pass it along. This is a few minutes that someone can take out of their day that can maybe pull them out of a mindset that they're currently in and serve them towards doing something about it. That's what this episode specifically was about, but that's what the Coach's Corner is all about in general. Finding ways to encourage steps to be taken towards your optimal self, shifting your perspective, if you will, in a way that otherwise, without hearing the episode, you may not have considered in the first place. Again, I hope you appreciated the time, and I certainly appreciate you giving up the time to give this a listen. There's so much more great content coming your way, courtesy of interviews that have already been recorded, interviews that have been lined up, and tons of content that I continue to try to put together in regards to these Coach's Corner. Be sure to come back, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to keep driving what you're doing towards your optimal self in search of optimal performance. Bye for now.